right, so this week we took a look at Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie that hit theaters last year. Didn't do so great, of course, because of the pandemic. Um, but it didn't get good ratings either, did it? Or were people complaining about it?
It was about a lot of people complained about the sound quality, which
Mm.
is common for Nolan movies. It got I think it averaged
I would
for
say I hate the sound quality.
no, I watched it with captions.
I definitely had captions on because I have screaming children in my house. So
Oh,
I
well,
Really? I
dude,
heard it perfectly fine.
the sound quality was horrible.
I did
It was
notice one
like
scene, the dialogue was way lower than the rest of the dialogue. And I was like, wait, why is this?
yeah.
I had my TV turned up, and it still sounded like they was whispering. I'm
It's
like,
like
I
the more
never
you
turn
turn
my
the TV
TV
up,
up
the
this loud.
quieter they talk.
Like they did it on purpose. Like he's turning us up. He's turning us up.
And I want to say the car scene, I felt like the music was drowning out the movie. I
Wait,
felt
which
like
one?
it
When
was
it
I
was
didn't.
way
I didn't
too
feel that.
loud.
when it was the Audi was backwards. When it was backwards in the Audi.
Yes, yeah, the first time, the first
Oh, okay.
car scene.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
feel
felt
that
like
way
the
in the
music
car
was
scene.
way too loud.
And some other scenes I did.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't really notice it that much. I noticed like one dialogue scene, but the rest seemed okay. But maybe because I had subtitles, I wasn't really paying that much attention.
Yeah. But I think overall it got about a 7 for users rating and I think about a 80 maybe in Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to look it up.
Okay, all right. My general consensus of this movie is confusing but interesting.
It was very confusing.
I'm going to
Yeah,
say
I understood it. I say 45 minutes left in the movie. I got it.
Yeah, I gotta. By the end, I got a grasp
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. Like toward the
Yeah.
end, yeah. I was like, okay. But at first, I'm like, what? Hmm?
70 on Rotten
And
Tomatoes.
I'm like, how did
Okay.
like how does it work?
I'd agree. Like initially, I was like, "What?" And then at the end, you kind of get it. Like, okay, they're just going through time, and then they got to like reverse backwards. Here's my issue with this movie. I felt like Christopher Nolan made this movie complex when it didn't have to be.
Yeah,
True.
I was going to
True.
mention that because without giving ratings, I like the movie, but it's definitely not the cinematic masterpiece that Christopher Nolan was making it out to be while he was being so upset at Warner Brothers and stuff. Like it was no need for any of that. This was a decent movie, but it's like not groundbreaking.
Yeah, I felt like this was Christopher Nolan thinking he was a genius, and he isn't. And had I saw this in the theaters, I would have been disappointed.
Mm.
Which I mean, like, 'cause I was really waiting for this movie to come out, and when it didn't, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna see it." But now that I finally seen it, I was like, "Huh, I didn't miss anything."
Yeah, I'm not mad that I
Basically.
saw it at home
Yeah,
a year later.
no.
So, all right. Premise of the movie. Since we started talking about it,
Shall I go? Shall I
Yeah.
explain this movie?
tell
And
me
Yeah.
what Tenet is. A word and a gesture.
okay, so I'm going to explain it in the less time because they had so many explanation scenes in this movie, just ridiculous. So, anyways, okay. In the future, a scientist creates an algorithm that inverts time. They realized it was dangerous, and they compared it to how the guy felt about the Manhattan Project, and he regretted doing all that stuff. So he decided that he would encode the algorithm on these 5 artifacts. Why we call them artifacts? They're just squares, and scatter them throughout the world in the past.
Okay.
So, anyways, when the Soviet Union failed, Sater, who's the bad guy in this movie, because he was part of the cleanup crew, because all of they were protected by radioactive spots, so saying that no one would go near this because it's all radioactive.
Yeah.
So since when the Soviet Union fell, he was a part of that cleanup, and he discovered one of them and it had his name on it with paper.
Hey,
and
and wouldn't the future people know that the place they hit it at was gonna fail and blow up?
You would think. Here's what I don't understand. I was gonna say this for nitpicks, but I'm about to bring this up now. Why not just destroy it? Like, how many times in movies had they say it was too dangerous, so we scattered it across the universe so no one can find it, only for someone to find one and then say, wait, I gotta have them all now.
Yeah.
Like,
I.e. Justice League.
I don't
phase
Go to
1
mother
through
boxes.
3 of the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Marvel.
So
But then we wouldn't have the Marvel movies.
yes, I just don't understand.
True.
Like, destroy one of the stones and none of this happens.
Yeah, true.
I feel
Well,
like still a lot of other
Not a
bad
lot of
things will
people
happen,
could destroy it. The stones. I think they hit them because they couldn't destroy them. I think they thought about it ahead of time and they said you couldn't destroy the stones, except for Scarlet Witch.
So in Tenet, they couldn't destroy the artifacts because they still not going.
Oh no,
to
in
destroy
Tenet they
them.
definitely could have.
gonna
I
hide
don't know
them
why they
again.
didn't.
Right, exactly. I'm like, see, we're gonna hide them again so we can do this again in 100
They're gonna
years.
hide them again.
That is what they did. They just re-hit them.
Like,
Yeah.
dumb.
though.
And so,
Tenet
like,
2.
please no. So when, so when all the artifacts are together, it creates like something that can invert time, which will destroy the past and save the future. They think. Because one of the questions is what if you destroy the past, want to destroy the future? And they said they don't think so. That's not what they believe. But it wasn't really sure.
Well, because it's
Right.
like if you reverse time, what happens when it meets? I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
So you got that paradox.
That's what's saying it was a
Yeah.
paradox. And
That's
so,
what he's saying. It's
Yeah.
paradox.
And so time inversion is not time travel how we normally think of it. It's not like you're just going back in time. It's basically you're reversing the flow of time. So to go 10 days in the past, you have to spend 10 days in reverse to end up at that spot in the past. I looked at it as like rewinding a tape. If I want to go back to minute 1, I have to go backwards to minute 1.
Yes.
And that is
But you're
Tenet.
rewinding the tape without stopping the tape. That's why you
Yeah.
can see it happen.
It's
Yeah.
rewind
Yeah.
before we had the fast rewinds on VCR, right? Where it actually rewind slowly, and you had to watch the stuff go backwards.
Yeah. So that
Right.
is basically the summary of Tenet. I did that in 30 seconds. They took 2.5 hours.
They did take a while to explain it.
They did.
It felt longer than 2.5 hours.
That was
It
one of
felt
my
longer.
issues with
It
this
felt long
movie.
to y'all.
It felt long.
It didn't feel long to me.
I thought it.
It didn't feel long to me either.
It felt really long. I had like
It-
3 meals. watching it.
It felt really long for a movie to be like 2.5 hours. Kind of your standard for like a movie like this.
Yeah.
And I felt like, man, I am still watching this.
Yeah, I'm like, these guys have been through a lot, man. It's been-
Yeah.
They had been through a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say that there were things about the movie I liked. Like, I thought the action sequences were really good.
Oh, the action was good.
I
Yeah,
thought
actually good.
the
Actually
scenery was just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, the
they were
movie
in-
was very well shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good. Yeah. There's some like really brief angles that I felt like they could have did without. I mean, it's hard to like pinpoint them, but I feel like there was some like brief camera angles that lasted for like maybe a second and a half that they didn't really need. It kind of
Okay.
just threw off the flow of the movie to me.
I didn't notice that. I don't
A
know.
whole second and a half.
Hey man. it
Yeah, I'm
threw
like,
off
you
the
didn't
movie.
need that angle for like. I mean, it was multiple angles like that they kept doing. I was just like, I don't feel like you needed that. Maybe it's just me. Visually though, it just threw off the flow of the movie.
Okay.
It just looked like bad editing or something.
So another thing about it is when you have an object that is going in the reverse flow of time and you bring it over, then it acts differently. Which is, I think that's the most confusing part because I get going in the inverse, but like if I have an inverse bullet, instead of picking it up, I have to drop it and it comes to my hand. Like that's weird. I get what they're saying, but somehow it still doesn't make sense.
Well, it's like also when he caught on fire, but since the flow was backwards,
Heat transfers backwards. So
Yeah. So
He froze.
instead of him
Burn.
being on fire, he got hypothermia.
which was the better option.
It really was.
True.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Be true. You can come out of that. You get burnt. You
Yeah, no, it's coming back.
come out of
around.
it. You're gonna look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree. I think it took about 45 minutes because once you finally understand how time travel works in this movie, and they took so long to explain it, when you realize like, okay, it's going backwards, and so like when you, I think starting at the car chase, and then that, and when like they're like trying to pick up the last artifact, I think that's when it finally picked up. Where it's like, okay, I get it. It makes sense.
It was the first.
That's when it made sense for me.
It's the first time they
Was right
explained
after
the
that car
turnstile.
Yeah.
When you had the two windows. Now we've seen it before, and I think that's good to show us it and then explain it later. I think that worked well, because you saw it before when they were in the vault and he fought himself, and you didn't know he was fighting himself.
Yeah.
Which I really did enjoy that callback at the end, and you're like, oh, he was fighting himself, and then I was like, that's why his friend let him go. Because I was wondering, I'm like, why he took his helmet off and it's just
I thought he saw
Yeah, just
himself
watched
at
him.
first.
I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah,
yeah. At the
Yeah.
beginning of the
That's why
movie,
I
I
thought
thought
he
he
was the
saw
traitor.
himself.
yeah.
But it's better because you can't see yourself in this movie, or you can't interfere with yourself. Is that what it is?
I think they're just guessing.
Okay.
They thought.
Yeah, they don't-
because
they
he
don't
technically
know.
touched himself.
Right, but you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
Didn't
they
say
don't.
Yeah, they did say that.
If he was
No, he
fighting
didn't.
himself, he was definitely doing a lot of touching.
Hey,
He
definitely
was
punched
saying
himself.
that he
He had
doesn't
to.
know what will happen because he also asked, like, well, what if you kill your past self? Because he asked, what if you kill your grandfather? What does it do to you? And then
Yeah.
it was like, what if you kill yourself? And he was like, each time he really didn't have an answer. It was like, it's a paradox. Don't know.
Well, because there is no answer. Because if you go back and kill your grandfather, then you don't exist. Then you can't go back and kill your grandfather, meaning he's alive. Now you exist.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they just don't know. So it was kind of a thing. But he definitely came in contact with himself. So
Yeah, he did.
obviously nothing happens.
Yeah.
I thought that talking in reverse was
interesting.
sweet. Though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was a
When he
nice
was
touch.
talking.
That talking
It was
about
like, we're-
The fight scenes was
The fight
interesting,
scenes were good, too.
especially the first time you saw it, and like he's fighting a guy that's moving in reverse and it's weird, and then he goes back through. So now the other person is in reverse. It was interesting. I did like that.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
whole concept of it is like, oh, this is pretty cool. I just think the execution of it was just so unnecessarily complex and convoluted that it didn't need to be.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely over-explained it.
Especially like in the beginning, they were like explaining it in like this weird circular, confusing method. When in the end, when there's like, explaining the doubles, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you had like the color to tell you like, hey, blue is backwards, red is forward.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just do that in minute one?
Oh, that last action scene, man, that was awesome.
Oh, with the
Yeah.
building?
Oh, well, yeah, the building.
The building was cool.
That was awesome. But, I mean, like, just the fight they're doing, okay, we have a team in reverse and we have a team here, and then seeing how it interact with each other. I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I feel that scene where the guy gets stuck in the building because the building wasn't there and things was going in reverse. I was like, dude, get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of it's like you die because the building basically got rebuilt with you in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
probably sucks.
that sucks.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty cool concept. Last really cool scene, I thought the car chase scene was cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely
Thought so too.
And I was wondering why
And I
that car
thought-
was flipped over in the middle of the highway. I was like, why was that just there? That's
Yeah.
weird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might have been like, I don't know, Because we should have seen the SUV in it, and we didn't.
We did.
But not in
Yeah,
that
we
scene. Like
did.
when it was flipping, you don't see the SUV. You see it after the fact. I think it is like it should have been there and it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking it's like a filming error.
Oh, okay. I got
I
you.
gotta go back and look at it.
That probably it was true. That's probably true.
That editor is fired.
But I thought it was pretty cool with him giving him the case, but the artifact was out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and basically he gave it to himself in the past because he was in the car that was.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna put what I think happened in this movie. So they said Tenet was created. It wasn't created in the past. It was created in the future. So, also, our main character doesn't have a name.
No,
We're going to save that conversation. It's in my nitpicks, and I want to talk about it in there.
Okay, I didn't.
No, he
figure
is
that out
the
until the
protagonist.
movie.
No, I'm not calling him that. His name will be Sam from now on.
All right, so the protagonist, he created. Here's my theory. He created Tenet, and recruited all the people. He recruited his best friend, and then they went through the inverse thing, and that's how all of this started. Because he created Tenet, and they went back to stop this guy from destroying the universe. Always, and that this whole operation was his plan. And now that it's over, now we're back on the forward. But that means there's two protagonists, right, in the world, right?
One in the future, one in the past.
No, like they're both in the
one
present,
in the future, one.
but one is from the future. Because he went back in the past. They had to go back into the past.
Okay, and now he knows that he's... Yeah.
Right.
There's two.
Yeah, so there's two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Also, there's two of Sater's wife. There's two of her. The one that killed him, and
Which
the one
is
that
why
came back
Priya
to the yacht.
wanted to kill her.
Hmm?
Which is why Priya wanted to kill her. Because Priya was like, you can't have no loose ends. Honestly, I'm all for Kat dying. She was the most annoying person ever.
I'm like, yo, I know you hate him, but maybe wait.
Maybe like follow
my
the
thing
rules.
is now you want to be brave and kill him.
Exactly.
But like, we got a mission now.
Right. Like he
killed
couldn't
him
die
years ago.
thinking he won. He's dead. What difference does it make? Like, and then like I didn't understand why Sam was so intent on saving her. I'm like, just let her die. She's not important.
Yeah,
It was weird that
He was.
like, that was his mission. Like, she had to be saved. I mean, I get if you're a good person, you want to save people, but he was like focused on her. and it
Here's
was
why
weird.
I think the internet was saying that Max is actually Neil, her
What?
son.
Is Neil.
Her
Yes.
son. Ah.
Wait, who's Neil? Which one was Neil?
Okay.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert
Neil is
Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
So maybe that's why he was so intent on saving her, so Max can grow up and have a good life, and then be Neil in the future.
That would make sense.
All right,
'Cause I
now
couldn't see
we're-
why else
now
he
I'm
wanted to save him.
confused. It's still a paradox because now it's which came first,
Neil saves him.
right? Because he technically recruited himself, right?
Right.
He recruited the person that recruited him,
Yeah.
right? So he's only technically in Tenet because he got recruited, but he's the one that's. So yeah, it's a paradox.
This
But-
is why I hate time travel movies.
Yes.
Because we
Yeah,
have this
because at the
conversation
end of the
every
movie,
time.
he said he realized that he recruited himself.
Yeah.
and they were working for him the
Yes.
entire time.
Yeah.
And how many Neils was in that past?
He
scene?
kept going back.
Yeah, there was only one. So, or there were two. So what happened? Okay, that last scene, which I thought was still good. What happened is Neil noticed they set the trap, so he swapped over to the forward moving time to try and warn them. They didn't pay attention to the honking truck, and so he went in after them. No. He did all the stuff to help them.
He had to go in before them.
He didn't go in before them. After. Okay.
So how was he laying on
After
the ground
they
when the door
saved the
was
day
locked?
and all that, then he went back because he was the person that died.
Right, so he went back to the person that died, comes back, so now he's not dead no more. He can shoot the guy.
But he dies there. It's confusing.
I think he went back like 3 times.
Yeah. But he's
Okay.
definitely he's dead at the end of this movie. Because when he was walking away, he had to go open the gate for them in the past.
Yeah.
So he had to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were going to kill themselves. So he's dead.
Okay. Yeah. I think
Yeah. Yep.
I'm leaving it at that.
Don't
I
try to
know
explain
that
it.
he's dead. I'm not going to explain how. My brain gets it, but it also doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
Okay.
it. I got it. That y'all explaining it that way because I was just like, how many of them was it in that one scene?
Just one.
Because it was like he was in 3 different places. But okay, he kept going back.
You got to remember, if he goes back and forth, he's covering like the same period of time, just in a different direction.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk what Dora has going on over here.
All right. Random movie facts. So, Tenet originates from the Sator Square, I believe.
Oh yeah. It's like a thing that says Tenet
Yeah.
over and over again. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's found in the ruins of Pompeii. You don't know what Pompeii is, look it up. And the square is made up of 5 words. That's Tenet, Opera, Rota, Sator, and Aropo. All those 5 words appear in the movie.
It does.
Yes. And so no matter what direction you rotate the square, the words will appear horizontally and vertically.
That's actually pretty cool though.
It is. And no one understands like why the square is here, what it meant, blah,
I
blah,
do
blah.
want to know why. No.
No one knows. Ask the people in Pompeii, but they're all dead. So, yeah.
Well, now we need Tenet so we can travel hundreds of years back. Oh, we're gonna die before we get there.
Yes. Because you actually have to
Yeah, we
travel
will.
back that far. You can't do it. You'd be dead.
Man, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things that I really do like about this movie is that almost everything was done practically. So like the airplane crash, they really did crash the 747 into a hangar. This movie only had 280 visual effects.
Only 280.
Yeah. They said that's like less than like a regular old movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no
Wow.
green screens whatsoever. And they shot the scenes once going forward and then once going backwards. And then that's how they did it. Smart, right?
Oh, and then they did the editing. Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, including
Some
the
work
car
right there.
chase. So they shot it with the cars all moving forward and then shot it again with all the cars going backwards.
How hard that is?
Yeah, it's insane.
Just reverse the.
Yeah,
reverse the.
You just
Those
reverse
drivers.
the video feed.
Yeah. Have 2 cameras recording it going
But you know
further-
what? It
forward.
wouldn't have that realistic feel though with just reversing the feed though.
That's
Because,
true.
like,
It
watching the
should.
movie,
Driving in reverse shouldn't look like time is reversing. They had to drive in a way to make it look like it was moving backwards.
Yeah,
and
that's
not
why I
just
was
a car
like
driving
watching
backwards.
the movie. It looked like they were going backwards in time. Especially the car scene. Like I thought that was sweet.
You know what I thought was funny?
That car scene was real freaky looking. They
You know what I thought was funny about that car scene? Because when it started, they were being chased by a car driving a river.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was freaky about it. I'm like, that's really weird.
Yeah, because like I mean, in real life, you're like, why are you chasing after them backwards? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder for you. You're more likely to flip over.
Well, what's weird about that car scene? I guess it's not weird. It's just like I don't understand. Like, okay, so the truck was being monitored on the GPS, but my thing is like the drivers. Like before they like ram the drivers, like are you not concerned about being boxed in like this? Like they were completely boxed in, and they did just like no
Yeah,
worries.
call it in or something.
Yeah, like call it in or something. And then like the guys back in the the operations center was like, we lost radios. Like, are they still moving? Yeah. Well, okay then. Like, I'd be a little concerned.
Like, right, yeah.
Send
I
somebody
think
out.
so.
Yeah, it was just so weird. And also, I didn't understand how John David Washington's like, we need a car that's fast but doesn't look fast. And then you chose a BMW like we don't know BMWs are fast.
That's also true. Like, it's gonna be like,
Like, oh, yeah, we know it's fast, so yeah, whatever.
get a Chevy SS.
Right. That's a car
Yeah.
that's like doesn't look fast. It's like I mean, like yes, BMW's a
It
sedan,
definitely
but
doesn't look fast, but that thing is mad fast.
right. Like you can't choose a car we all know is fast.
Yeah. Plus, like, yeah, with
And
the
I'm
Chevy,
just gonna go
half
on
the
a
people
limb
not even gonna
here.
know what it is. They're gonna be like, is that a Malibu? Like,
That's what it looked like, though.
And I'm just going to go on a limb here. Cars traveling that fast, you're not going to be able to jump from one vehicle to another vehicle. I'm sorry.
if they're traveling at the same speed, you could.
I didn't have issues with that. I had an issue with him trying to throw this box out of one window, bounce it off the car, and into the other window when you're both driving 60 miles an hour.
Yeah. that
I'm
was
like,
weird.
nah, not happening.
Movie world is possible.
Wait,
He doesn't land in that car. I don't care that both doors are open. He doesn't land in the car.
That car doesn't have enough time to stop.
And
Number one,
he pressed the brakes
It didn't
with
have
his
enough.
Yeah,
fingers.
2 fingers, bro.
He pressed the brakes with his fingers.
You're not gonna
I'm
bring
like,
a car to a screeching halt with 2 fingers on the brake pedal. It's not gonna happen.
and you're gonna need hands on the steering
You
wheel.
know how much
because-
pressure you got to press on the brakes?
first of
with
all,
your
I can
hand?
figure out like
Right.
how was that Audi staying straight so long? Like there's a good wheel alignment, and then
All
there's
right with nobody.
Wait,
no
the
one's driving
Audi,
the car.
He was driving the Audi, right?
No.
The
No,
past
the-
future self.
No one was
Car that
in the
was
front
in.
seat.
She was in
Oh,
the
that's
back.
the black.
The
truck.
black, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That come on, that car does not stay straight that long.
Why was it still driving?
Oh yeah, it should have slowed down.
It should have stopped. I don't care if it's an inverse car. I get it was an inverse car, right? It came from the other side, so it drives backwards. Cool. Why was it driving by itself?
That's what I'm saying. Like I get that the car will still move when someone's out of it, but it would have definitely swerved into another lane. It would have started decelerating. Something.
That's weird. That's
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
So-
That makes sense. Well, okay. That's okay. I'll let it go. I like to see.
Okay. That's all I have for random movie facts. I already brought up about the different colors, the red and the blue, so you can tell what's doing what. Oh, but I do have some nitpicks though. I know we talked about some, but my main one is the protagonist. Like you couldn't get this dude a name. Like what was the point of that? I can't, and it's just so annoying. And then he's like, "I'm the protagonist." Like, man, what's your name?
That just tells me you were lazy and you couldn't.
Even
That's
couldn't
exactly
think
what
of
it
a name.
is. You
even
wrote the
call
script.
him that. I'm saying you're the prince.
Yeah. It's like he wrote the script, didn't have a name yet, so he put
that's
in the
Christopher Nolan,
protagonist and just left it.
Make it mysterious for no reason.
It's not
That's not
mysterious. It's
mysterious.
just stupid. Yeah. Nah, I'm not. I'm sorry. That just, and they just told me, I'm like, really? This dude ain't got no name? Dumb, dumb, and more dumb.
All right. That's fair.
All right. So the opera house scene in the beginning of the movie. Okay, so the terrorist people puts gas in, and immediately, not the terrorists, the cops come, right? They put gas in, and the audience immediately fall over. But not all of the terrorists. Like some of them had gas masks, some of them didn't have gas masks. Some of them had time to put on a gas mask, while some of them fell over immediately. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, they were holding their breath.
Okay, sure
Yep.
they were.
That's how that worked out. No.
All right. Still at the opera house. So
You know
he
what
was
else I didn't like about that scene? Them just
what?
randomly shooting into the crowd. So I'm just like, just innocent people that's knocked
Yeah,
out. Just being
it was like the bullets was hitting everywhere. For real.
Well, only a few of them were CIA, right? Like John David Washington was like
Yeah.
trying to save people.
But he ended up killing people. I don't care. We're gonna get to that part. Okay. You're right. There was a lot of bullets flying.
they shot into the crowd, and I'm just like,
They don't miss. There you go. Answer to that.
Somebody missed something. You
no,
could see where those
some
bullets was
innocent
hitting.
people got shot.
No, you're right. You're right. All right. So John David Washington goes back to save the audience, right? Because the terrorists have planted bombs around. So he collects all the bombs, supposedly, and then he throws it into the upper deck. But when that blows up, the upper deck is going to collapse on all of the people.
I didn't think of that.
I thought the same
I
thing.
didn't know about that one either. I'm like, really, guy? And then y'all just bounce. Y'all run out the building.
Like, come on.
Yeah, they did.
Saying, well,
Probably a worse
I was
death.
about to say, I was like, that saved nobody.
Yeah. Now they're just all crushed to death. Ridiculous. All right. So we're gonna talk about this dude's wife, Kat. So all of a sudden she got like all of this courage now and she's brave or whatever, and now she can kill this guy but couldn't do it before. So after the failed attempt to steal the photo, because basically the future him told him to move the photo, not the photo, the painting. So they thought they destroyed it, but they ended up not destroying it. So anyways, she decides she's going to throw this dude off a boat. So John David Washington's like, dude, what you doing? No one told you to kill this guy. I need him. And then she's all like, you don't care about me or my son. And I'm like, no one told you to kill this guy. And he tried to help you. How is he supposed to know that the future guy told him to move the painting? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And my thing is, her husband told her. He's like, I had an inkling that they were going to come for it. Like, so
Yeah.
then you're like, you don't care about me. He had no idea what that was happening in the future.
Right.
That was dumb. And then you're just going to push him off a boat.
Right.
And then she's saying that it's like, you
Yeah.
know, John David Washington was there to, like, he needed to work with him for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, forget your mission.
And then she does it again at the end of the movie. She's like, I just couldn't let him think he was going to win. He was dying anyways. And so you kill this guy. And then she's like, I knew you would find a way. And the thing is, he didn't find a way. It would... Look, she'd have been dead, and her son she keep hollering about would have been dead if Neil doesn't go back in the past and save them.
Yeah.
They didn't find a way. They'd have been all dead, and it'd been all her fault. I was just like, man, just let her die. I've never wanted someone to die in a movie more than her. She was so annoying.
Yeah.
I feel you. I got you on that.
I can't. She's working my nerves in this movie.
I could tell. I could tell. Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, your points make sense. It's, yeah, I don't know why. I was kind of mad at the end with her, like, killing him early. I'm like, you couldn't just wait. Like, how horrible was it?
Right. Like, just 2.5 minutes. Like, just wait. Like,
The fate of the world is in the balance, right? I think I can hold back my hatred for someone for a little bit to
Right.
save the rest of the planet.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you jumped the gun. You would have destroyed everyone. And she's like, oh, I figured you would have come up with something. He wouldn't have had time to come up with nothing.
Hey, she's selfish anyway, because
Right, he
you know
wouldn't.
how we know she married him knowing that he was a weapons dealer, and then
Right.
you acting all like this now. Like, you knew what you were getting into. You married him because he had money and power. Period.
That's true. Because she
Yep.
like she always knew what he did. And now she's mad because, she tried to play that guy and he's like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not a good guy.
No.
She's not a protagonist.
No, and like I just couldn't
And
understand
her
like his like
Spoilers are weird.
yeah, I didn't understand like his just desire to save her throughout this movie. Even in the end, I'm like, oh, just let Priya kill her.
Gotcha.
But that was it for my nitpicks. Oh, I did want to talk about, like, what do we think about John David Washington? Do we see him being like a movie star?
I thought he was pretty good. There were times where I'm like, he sounds like Denzel.
He sounds exactly.
I thought
like
he was
Denzel
pretty
Washington.
good. Oh man, he does. He does. Sounds just
He
like
got the
his
same
father.
walk too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Same
Yeah,
walk.
they do.
I mean, he may not become a Denzel Washington, but I think he could be a really good, like, household name actor.
Yeah. I really like. I
Yeah,
Yeah, I
want
think he'll
him
be a good
to.
actor, definitely.
Yeah, yes. I really want I want him to be like that. Was kind of like disappointed that this wasn't a blockbuster movie because I felt like this would have been him to leapfrog into stardom.
Mm-hmm.
I just want him to be successful for some
Yeah.
reason.
We're rooting for John David Washington.
I
He's
am.
already
reason.
rich.
For some reason, yes.
Yeah, for some reason. Okay.
Whatever. For some
I
reason.
know what that reason is.
You
but
don't.
Anyway, I do. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's neither here nor there. But I think he's a real good actor. I liked him a little bit better in what was that movie with the KKK?
Black Klansman.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
in that?
Black Klansman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
That's
the main,
why,
he was the main character in that.
Nolan chose him for his roles in Black Klansman
Oh, okay.
and Ballers, which actually I don't like Ballers.
Ballers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
This is a TV show on HBO.
I like Ballers.
I haven't watched it.
I like Ballers.
Okay.
I like that show.
I ain't never seen it. I gotta watch it.
Yeah. All right, so shall we rate the movie?
Yes.
Cool. I feel like I might be a bit different than the rest of the people here, but I did enjoy the movie, so I'm gonna give it. I pay for that.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a watch while folding clothes. Although you can't.
Yeah.
But
But I say,
You
how
should.
can you watch this while folding
The
clothes?
You
rating, the rating is watch while folding clothes, but don't watch this while folding clothes.
you can't miss anything.
You have to pay attention.
It would be
No, you can't.
dangerous, man.
Yeah.
You can't. Yep. Unless you're sitting there and basically you have to drop your clothes so that you can pick it up because it's in the
Oh yeah. So you gotta drop. You have to act like you're dropping the basket, so the basket comes. So wait, how does the folding the clothes part work? Because if the clothes are inverse, so do you have to take your shirt off to put it on?
It just sucks.
So you just
Yeah, man.
get this weird movement.
yeah.
Put your shirt on where your pants go. Put your pants on where your shirt goes.
No, I don't think that's how that works. You're just gonna look weird. You're just gonna look weird. Oh man, this is a real cool concept, though. It is. All right,
I would say watch while folding clothes.
but don't.
Yeah, I would go. Yeah, don't. But for rating purposes, I would say watch
Okay.
while folding clothes.
Dan.
I say I would pay for that because
Oh,
I did it. It was enjoyable. I mean, it had me captivated. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow, this is it. But so, yeah. And plus, I can't watch it while folding clothes. 'Cause There's no way. There's just no way.
we got another tie.
Those were not,
Yeah.
It's another tie. Wow, my wife did not finish watching the movie. She fell asleep.
So that's their answer right there.
That's the answer. She said she wanted to watch it though.
But she fell
was
asleep.
just tired. Okay. All right. So because she fell asleep, does that make it a watch while folding
Yes,
clothes?
it does.
I guess 3D Rivals rating is to watch while folding clothes because my wife fell asleep while watching. It's kind of unfair, but that is our consensus of rating it to. So it's a watch while folding clothes, but don't watch while folding clothes. Make sure you don't do that. All right. So yeah, that's all we got on Tenet. You know what we're doing next week?
Yes.
What are we doing next week?
Air Force One.
Air Force One.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Air Force. We'll be talking about Air Force One, the classic.
Is it a classic?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know either. It's old.
It's Harrison Ford in it.
Yeah.
We had to get a Harrison Ford movie in.
Yeah. And it won't be one of those Indiana Jones movies, so.
Fair. All right, so we'll be talking about that next week. But
I completely forgot about. It doesn't matter now. Sorry. It was just about the actors had to learn how to talk backwards. I did not mention that. Sorry.
They didn't just play their audio backwards?
No, they actually talk backwards.
Why?
Because it's Christopher
They're doing
Nolan.
pretty good, actually.
But yeah, I'm gonna play our outro backwards. But anyhow, if you have your own thoughts on Tenet, make sure you type it backwards in the comment sections wherever you're watching or listening. I see. That is your saying is how we get there. There's no so that works or no you that you there's no whistle. Oh yeah, what that's not I did my card on you. That's why we use stick. Right. So why we do child mark let's see if what's all. So why we do child mark I don't miss so I miss no so it's not you know in the ceiling how are you very be our Christmas new life what's all.